Okay, what you're going to see is the face of a demon who's engaging in malicious conduct. It's called audible activity, and the vacuum is turned on while that demon knows that I began recording and got up out of my bed. Prior to right now, the entity is engaging in activities such as earthquakes happening inside of while I'm in the bed, shaking of the bed, vibrating as though they're kicking the walls, and they're engaging in what's supposed to be merely housekeeping, which is not supposed to create a substantial disruption. But these are demons that are pacing around, and they're also exceedingly hostile because the demons are engaged in federal stalking in the specific environment. Relevant position. Hi, how are you? And this is occurring with simultaneity to your movement. Okay, that's what demons are doing. Going to federal prison, keeping them cracked open for that purpose. This is impossible light activity. The sunrise was captured at 7 a.m. at the entrance, and it's currently 12:09 p.m. All right, the vacuum is a malicious means of engaging in elements of monitoring. A sex offender is engaging in stalking you with audible activity, which is to monitor you. That's also a person that has a demon on them. Demons are group stalking. And they're doing so with all these commercial actors who are making money while they're group stalking, where the fake sun is rising and setting over me, middle of the day, top of the head, P.O.C., not in Las Vegas, over the courtyard by Marriott at 12 when I'm walking out of that hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is in Hesperia. This is not even facing the direction that you're getting on the freeway to go towards Las Vegas, Nevada. This is not over this Fairfield by Marriott where I'm walking out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and the entity's maintaining a light source in its zenith over the top of my head, seen through the windshields of the vehicles in San Diego and that parking lot at that hotel. This is demons who are pacing, and these are all group stalkers: Chase Bank, Bath and Body Works, AT&T, GNC, Verizon, 7-Eleven, the Baker's Restaurant, Target, which you already know. I literally went there and the entity was keeping impossible light activity moving all over my person, which is a scientific impossibility. Those are demons that are group stalking with the third-party Target together, while Target's making money off of state terrorism with the government. Okay, Target is a domestic terrorist. That's why the sun, by the way, didn't go anywhere near Target. It remains over my head as I go to Target and then come back. That's identifying who's a stalker and who's being stalked, and it's demonic. Walking in and out of the entrance, those are demons who are pacing. All right, so it's ongoing harassment as an entity while they're maintaining a chorus of amplified audible activity, and that's how the sound of doors are piercing through your hotel. That's how you're having earthquakes when you're walking. When you are driving on the streets, it's not going to be heard inside. It's not creating any earthquakes. That's called relevant positioning. Preparing them for the rest of the state, that's going to be group stalking inside of the hotel room. Okay, immediately using that vacuum as a means of audible activity. All right, and that is pacing that you'll see on surveillance cameras, and what you're looking at is giving context in the engineered environment. That's actually the reality is it's not focused on cleaning, it's demonic pacing. Closure, the door closure is a means of stalking with activity. That's demonic. Just want to point that out. Again, that's malice. Those are the entity, that's the entity that is begging to be deported, begging to be placed in federal prison for a prolonged term. And you also looked at the scientific impossibility that 5 hours from 7 a.m., which is where I was at the entrance of this venue, the entity has the fake sun over the hallway window, over the top of my head. Okay, and you saw through the room 321 this morning, engineered light, like you see in the hallway on the floor right now, was inside of the room where that demon at 7 in the morning was pacing in and out while the entity's creating amplified audible activity being heard through the walls, creating sensational activity while at 7 a.m. when they're group stalking is that's what that is. It's activity creation, and the fake sun is in alignment with the same hotels that they're pacing in and out of, and engineered light is still inside of those hotel rooms, and it's also in the hallway floor as you're looking at the light source directly above. That's still duration of time. It's going from the front to the side. That's speaking to what is non-movement, and it's also only on the side because that's where I'm standing. If I go to the entrance, the fake sun will not be at the side. It'll be right at the entrance, which I've already documented. The entity's keeping the fake sun 12 hours from 7 a.m. right in alignment with my hotel when it's very exclusive. That's the P.O.C., and that's also getting back to their behavior. That's a demon and a terrorist who is deserving of federal prison, which is what she's going to get. And also, if not a natural born citizen, those of this engaging in this crime, domestic terrorism with the state, they're going to be deported. It is the loss of any citizenship, any naturalization that's been granted by the state. You are not under any circumstances remaining. That will be revoked, and it is the basis of what is deportation by the federal government, who is going to prosecute you for domestic terrorism, which is under no circumstances tolerated in this country. While they're engaged in what is clearly demonic, in the demonic environment, in their demonic behaviors, including opening and closing the doors, creating the doors as a method of noise creation with simultaneity to my operation of communication devices, my physical movement, in doing so in a clearly demonic environment. The light source is still at the same address. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That was 5 hours to get from the entrance to the hallway window. That's P.O.C. But you can go even further because it's supposedly in San Diego. It's supposedly over Courtyard by Marriott when I'm checking out. It's remaining there. It's supposedly over the Alvarado Gardens apartments, remaining where the entity is stalking all day long and night in helicopters. That's what LAPD is doing. This is prosecuting them while the demons in Hesperia are group stalking pursuant to the identical pattern of conduct. And this is how you know what the county sheriff of San Bernardino, what the captain over the Hesperia asked the Hesperia branch of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the San Bernardino County Fire Department, the fire chief, the demon that's in the position over CAL FIRE, and for example, the fire chief of LA County Fire Department, the police chief over the Los Angeles Police Department, the county sheriff over the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. That's how you know that they're engaged in the same exact criminal system and they have the same exact condition. And that's how you're able to prosecute in the natural for what is satanic and very malicious that the state is engaging in. You're going to punish the people and the state the exact same way. Any fire chief, for example, that's not a natural born citizen, like any demon-possessed housekeeper, they will both be deported. They will not be treated differently under federal law. It is currently 12:15 p.m. This is P.O.C. This is a documentation of a sex offense. And you're seeing many of the demon-possessed group stalkers being captured, and you're seeing the right title. They're going to be convicted sex offenders, but these are sex offenders as they're being documented. Engaging in a sex offense, monitoring a woman in a hotel room is a perpetual sex offense inside of a private space, and you're also witnessing mental illness. All of this is about me, what I'm doing as I'm doing it. That's also malice. Closing the door really quickly. P.O.C. That's the same entity, CAL FIRE, Joe Tyler, is being exposed. Group stalking. Pacing in and out of the rooms. Big bag activity. What room is These are the same rooms where the entity had impossible light activity. On the floors on the inside. Hi. Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Fine. This is the state and the third parties group stalking together. P.O.C. Opening and closing the doors with simultaneity to your movement. That's the uncanny ability of demons. Okay, and they're in the hotel rooms where the entity has fake engineered light on the floors reaching into the hallways. These are demons that are engaged in relevant positioning, and the demons are alternating positions, the housekeepers with the state, that's CAL FIRE, maintaining presence, okay, in the specific environment. So you're witnessing the state engaging in the pattern of conduct, which has always been the case when they're stalking in helicopters. This is always the case when they're stalking in ambulances and police vehicles and in fire trucks. They are literally, their persons are engaging in stalking in the environment where you are looking at the same exact condition, demons, representing fire departments, speaking to what the entire state of California is engaged in, by the way. These are more defendants, and they're providing their IDs, they're providing their information, they're identifying the departments, which is, again, just confirming what I've already stated. This demonic system is directly pointing at every single aspect of the system. So, for example, San Luis Obispo County, which the entity stated, but that was CAL FIRE. Nonetheless, the entity is pointing directly at the police, the sheriff, and the demons that are a part of any and all hospitals who are driving ambulances, who are group stalking. It's pointing to the entire state nonetheless, but this is what is simultaneously being exposed when you're engaging in a pattern of conduct in the specific environment, because it's not something that's, for example, on a rubric, engage in this conduct and then engage in this conduct. In other words, it's not something that's taught, it's something that's demonic. And so the entity is engaging, acting in sync in a demonic environment that's deliberately there, and that's how you know that you're deliberately engaging in elements of monitoring, not coincidentally, not accidentally, but intentionally. And the mental illness is exposed because they do so and they're facing federal prison. And the demons know that they're engaged in federal stalking. Okay, I just want to point that out. This is, again, the state engaging in criminal conduct in the same way that the people of the state are. So big picture, you're looking at these demons that are maintaining presence in the hotel rooms, and all they're doing is maintaining a chorus of noise 24/7, including the housekeepers, which you saw at 7 a.m. while engineered light set in the hallway, which is a scientific impossibility. While the fake sun is on this side of the building, 5 hours later, here it is over my head, the top of my head, when I'm looking out the window inside of the same building. And 12 hours from the sunrise, which I captured captured. It's outside of my hotel window in alignment with me, which is right here. It's going from being on the side of the building seen through the hallway window to being in alignment with my window at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what I've already documented on video and in images. This is, again, speaking to the exclusivity of the light source, which is not the sun. We've only got one, not 14. That lets you know what's exactly in front of me. What you just saw, a demon representing a fire department that's engaged in public corruption, the system of federal group stalking and monitoring. And the demons are just engaging in vacillating identity one after another, but it's the same entity. Okay, this is what Satan is doing, and it's occurring at what is a third-party facilitating venue. This entire venue, not just the demons on the third floor, the second floor, and the first floor, the entire venue where the fake sun is rising and setting is going to be prosecuted. It's a hotel full of defendants, and so is everyone else around. Where the fake sun is remaining over this hotel, the 76, the High Desert Gateway Shopping Center, the Bakers across the street, the 7-Eleven right here outside of the window, they're all engaged in what is federal group stalking, monitoring, and federal stalking, and they're also engaged in what is systematic criminal summoning, group stalking with the state that's not only present on the grounds, but also engaging in the demonic pattern of conduct, as opposed to what you are looking at in the natural as an emergency. It's actually criminal summoning. The fake sun is over this, so the sound of sirens is audible activity. The movement of the vehicles is light activity. The lights on the vehicles is light activity. All the people of the state that are in traffic are simultaneously stopping and moving and pressing their lights on their brakes. It's massive facilitation of the elements of monitoring all around the hotel, and that's a very serious federal offense that the whole entity all around the hotel is engaging in. This is serving for what is a massive prosecution, and I've shown this even as I go from county to county and including state to state, and the entity does it generously with providing, and this is good because you've got millions of those who are domestic terrorists in the state that need to be specifically identified, and I've documented thousands of them, and not just in 2024. The pattern of conduct exceeds from 2018, so there are many to be prosecuted and published necessarily as terrorists in the state of California, and it did not expire when I documented you in September of 2019, for example. Your name, your license plate remains, and I will track you down. I mean, the federal law is going to find you. You're going to be prosecuted. You will be published as a terrorist in the U.S., and you will be treated like any other demon group stalking. There's nothing special about these demons representing fire departments. They're showing the threat that they pose in the role of the state, while the population is group stalking with them, and they are of the exact same conditions. Sex offenders obsessed with my genitalia, pacing in and out of hotel rooms, group stalking, walking in the hotel, driving around outside of the hotel, whatever it is they're doing with regard to relevant positioning inside and outside of the hotel, while earthquake-like conduct is occurring. You're seeing a demon hop into the hallway and use a vacuum with regard to audible activity while you're subject to earthquake-like conduct. That's relevant to what a systematic infliction of inhumane suffering. This is nothing other than a means of recovering from the entity that includes the people, Holiday Inn, everything that they're making money off of, which is including the conspiracy to murder and kidnap with the state, who's providing evidence against them, group stalking in the hotel rooms. This is the totality of that criminal system, which has already imploded. And the entity's doing it for the world to witness, because I'm going to publish it, and it's literally evidence that I'm going to prosecute for. And civilly speaking, they're all engaging in criminal conduct to each other's demise, and you're going to drain the pockets. What's happening to the Holiday Inn civilly? All of the entities engaged in that criminal system together. And there is nothing that the state is engaging in. For example, putting out a fire inside of the shopping center at High Desert Gateway will never negate the fact that the fake sun remains over this hotel all day long. So you will simultaneously be prosecuted for criminal summoning while they're still group stalking. And by the way, the demons are desperate enough to literally set a fire while they're aware of evidence, which is never going to supersede the rising and setting of a fake sun at the same address. Never. That's the logic of a mentally ill psychopath. It is currently 12:22 p.m. This is P.O.C. That's impossible light activity that you saw on the floor underneath the doorway this morning. Okay, that's P.O.C.